Welcome. I will call the regular meeting to order, and we will have a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This meeting is being recorded. And I will open the floor for public comments. And Diamond Pharmaceutical. Welcome.
Hello. So my name is Kayla Bash. Would you like me to stand anywhere in particular?
Wherever you want.
Just work the room.
Okay. Okay.
Camera's right there.
My name is Kayla Bash, and this is Craig Olson. He is one of our executive pharmacists with Diamond. So he's come along to just answer any questions and kind of go over the technical side as well. So as an overview, Diamond has a long history in corrections. We started with the Pennsylvania Department of Corrections and have built from there. We service over 700,000 inmates nationwide, and we are in 48 states. So that's kind of a little background. We definitely have tried to be the best in the business. We are the largest, but we try to still give that small town feel because we are from a small town, and that's how they started. For what we offer, we like to really put emphasis on our return program. So for your facility, it would be a return for full credit besides a 85-cent processing fee. And I talked with Julia about that from CFP, and she said that you all had some pricing that you were given as well, that Chuck helped her complete the pharmacist for your account. And I wanted to talk about Sapphire as an option. We do offer the EMAR, the electric medication ordering system, for free for Diamond customers. That you don't have to use that, but if you want to get off paper or if you're looking to switch from a provider, that is an option. It works very well with Diamond, but it can work with others in the electronic health record program, which is the step up and would have the full modules. We also would supply medical cards on loan, fax machine if you would need, and we package our medications typically in blister packs, which I have some skills I'll leave, and those blister packs can be returned even if they are partially used. So they do not have to be full, and then you'll see the label on the top that covers all of the information. Warden, I believe we spoke a little bit about Brixadi last time. Brixadi, sorry. And I did some research on that. We can get that from specialty pharmacy. And right now, from order to time of delivery is about 3 days. So I just wanted to update you on that as well. And I'll let Craig touch base on like what the pharmacist role is and how Diamond kind of does their thing.
As Kayla said, I'm an executive consultant pharmacist. So currently, I preside over the Virginia Department of Corrections, and I help do inspections in the PA Department of Corrections. And I've been with Diamond for this is my 24th year. So I also service a lot of county jails in Ohio. I'm a licensed pharmacist in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Ohio. So I have to keep up on the law in those 3 states. But I visit Ohio quite frequently every quarter. So as far as services, as far as what I provide, I'm your link to anything, clinical, I wear many hats: customer service, implementations, operation, formulary management, just, hey, where's my order today? How am I getting it out the door to you? From what I understand, this is going to be a delivery.
Yes, we would, you would be on the daily delivery, so it would be on the driving route, it would be delivered in the evenings.
So, like other, facilities that we service that aren't in that kind of locality, we are generally, overnight FedEx or UPS, but with your vicinity, the direct delivery is great, so that's our own fleet.
Yep. Are you doing nursing homes as well?
Yes. Yeah, and we do have some nursing homes in Ohio as well, because we have a Westerville location, satellite location. But again, so I'll be, everybody that would be associated with the medical team at the jail would have my cell phone number, my email.
And there would also be a dedicated data entry technician,
Right.
and somebody from the building department as well.
And my colleague Chuck Schieffer is actually the medical group. He's the main executive consultant pharmacist for that group. So, it would be a tandem, it would be a team. But anything from, therapy questions on patients, what can I use that's an alternative that, would be as clinically effective, no change in treatment, but, more cost effective for you. Those types of decisions. Anything you would need on a monthly, weekly, or quarterly basis as far as information to get set up for you, we would be able to do that. We have a really robust, reporting system that actually can be accessed by the customer. If we set you up with an online reporting account yourself, anybody that wants to use that. Checking in orders, we also have an online reconciliation program. Are you currently using Core EMR?
Are you using any of the electronics at this time?
No,
No?
just on paper? Okay. Yeah, well, it's just a web-based product that is free, and you can scan in the barcodes on your cards to check them in a little bit more efficiently, quickly, and then also you can use them for returns. So we have a form set up for those little barcode sheets that you can set up a return sheet, scan them all in, and print them out for your records. Just some of the services that we have to offer. And we could set up, I'm not sure if Chuck, what he has set up with at CMP, correct? As far as quarterly meetings you want to have set up on a regular basis, but all that's on the table, formulary management. Even if you don't enforce a formulary, like for instance, for the VA DSC, they have a formulary. And orders that aren't on it, they have to have non-formulary approval. I mean, that's one thing we can do, but if you don't choose to do that, that's fine. You can have a formulary and just track the statistics of it and review it.
I think too, I listened in on Craig doing one before and with Florida, and it was just, there was simply a new provider, and they were ordering completely opposite from the old one, so the bill was going up, and it was in that meeting that they could kind of determine that and look at what they needed to do.
I mean, county jails, it's tough. Medical in the county jail atmosphere is in a tough situation. Whatever comes, is on your doorstep, you have to deal with. Sometimes there's no way to deal with the cost is what it's going to have to be for that patient. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of times we can help with that. Myself and Chuck. But also we have what we call our optics department, which is a dedicated unit of PharmDs that are in-house all the time, that are available at email, optics@diamondpharmacy.com, or you can call and ask to speak with them. And they do, say someone comes to, your intake and they're on this, what can we, what are the options with this? What are we looking at here? Are there anything similar we can do, or, again, it has to be reviewed with the provider and patient history, but
It's available.
that team they're available, 9 to 5 every day.
But Diamond as a whole is accessible 24/7.
Right.
Your drivers are coming out of Indiana?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and we would also provide, we're set up with you a backup pharmacy for emergency situations, and that's typically based on the customer's choice.
Yeah, your choice local, just so you have something if you want to start something started before we can get the delivery to you. That's how we deal with that. And we set up a PBM, which is like a billing mechanism through that's online, that they can bill with information we provide them. So when we can have it delivered, or if you're comfortable with staff going to pick it up, that's again a choice. But there should be no charge when you pick it up. That's what that biller system is for. But you're generally looking at, probably on a delivery to get here. If we had your order, what's going to be a 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock?
He just said probably after 7 p.m. It would come around 7:38, I think is what Mark was saying.
The next.
That
You need
evening.
delivery.
That
Delivery to get orders in during the day.
Probably, I would say 2 o'clock
Yeah.
cut off, I would think.
for us to get the, say you had new orders up until 2 p.m., that would be what would be delivered that evening. You could try and, if you had something come in at 3 from one of your providers or 3:30, you could call your technician and say, hey, can we get this added to our order? The closer it gets to 4 or 5 o'clock, the harder that becomes, but.
And I can get that exact cutoff time for you, and just so you have it,
Yeah.
this information.
But, yeah, do you have any specific questions as far as what you're provided now and what we could do differently, or anything you would like to see that, if we could do for you?
I do not. We've spoke several times and did some comparisons, and I wanted the board as a whole to hear you guys and the options you guys provide.
Yeah, that's all right.
The returns of medications at that cost is huge.
Sure.
It can be, especially if it's, the pricing study that I had in front of me was about, even though it was a smaller study, but the medications came out to about a $300 difference around that but I also saw that, we're constantly looking if we could, I have independent accounts, and when I see something where the contract is AWP based, then if there's a discount to AWP, sometimes AWP stay really high when costs fluctuate as well. So there may be more wiggle room on certain drugs depending on when those things change. If we can hot list something and get it down for you, we're always looking at that. So, our pricing is pretty aggressive, just because simply of our buying power and our size. So that's just definitely an advantage.
And I will say, I think that, I know the pricing that you did. Whenever you get really into the nuts and bolts of the exact invoices, that's whenever the buying power can really come out. Because it might be on a very random drug that you wouldn't think of at the time, and then you get somebody that's on it. So I think that will show you even more savings, and the credit on returns, I think, works at the average is about 12% additional savings at least.
Let me talk about the credit policy too. The credit policy, on paper is, tablets, capsules, in a sealed bubble pack. Sorry, can I have one of those, please? Thank you. So to get credit on something that's in one of these, as long as this is intact, it's okay, even if there's only 2 left. So say you had a HIV patient that had Biktarvy, and that you're talking about a $4,000 card there. I mean, if you have 3 tablets left over to send back to us, that's still significant. So, and we have, we've worked with the Pennsylvania Board of Pharmacy to be able to do that, to piece together these, to be able to, if they're still in an intact bubble with the information on it, we can utilize that. So,
Does Diamond have a relationship with a pharmacy benefit manager, or you guys your own?
we do. It's Acela.
Who's your PPM?
Acela, PBM.
Acela.
Acela, yes. Now there was, what did they call it? I'm sorry, I'm probably not going to get it right, but that hack, that worldwide hack.
The breach
The
that
breach
just
that
happened,
happened,
we weren't,
that we were going to have to possibly go away from them because they were having a lot of trouble getting back up, but now they're functional. So we're back with Acela.
Okay.
this was the breach back in March.
They called it, I can't
I
believe
can't
it.
remember.
I woke up one day and everybody's like, my computer's not
Yeah.
gonna work.
Scary that.
But yeah, that took them down for quite a while, and then we, thought about moving, but we did not. So it's Acela.
Okay.
How do we have bubble packs today?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And who do we utilize as our pharmacist today?
We use Darwin.
Well, we do not get credit for anything that's left over.
Not a credit like this, no.
Correct.
Well, 2 times have things left over.
Yeah.
But we return directly to Darwin though? Okay.
And Craig had said something earlier that made some sense too. I mean, even if you don't know that it's worth it to you to return it, then at least you don't have to destroy the meds. So if it goes back and it wasn't a huge saving on that one, you didn't have to, we took care of it.
Yeah, because right now, like for us to destroy the nurse, she has to buy the specific bottles and whatnot to destroy the medications.
Yeah, that can take a lot
That's
of
another
time.
cost too.
Yeah. And what I wanted to, so just to finish up about the credit policy, it's generally, it's tablets, capsules, liquids in sealed bubble packs or sealed manufacturer bottles. Other than that, it's, creams, ointments, specialty items, injectables, those are outside our credit policy. But, Chuck and I work with customers, all over the country. If you have a prescription go out to somebody for, an inhaler or an injectable and they leave and you get it, if you call us, we're gonna do everything we can to get that back credit. As long as we can utilize it, that's the safety, issue that the Board of Pharmacy looks at and, when we're getting things back.
Right.
So, but we do everything we can to try and,
Yeah, to wrap up as well, I'll say that I've watched Craig and other pharmacists specifically, we had a facility in Ohio, a county jail, and they wanted to come on board back in February, but there were a lot of things that they needed to get in place so that they could more efficiently order medication, like their stock license, the DEA, everything. So instead of just forcing the sale right then and really pressuring it, I think we worked as a team to get them all set up, and now they're very, very happy. They have everything in place and they're saving quite a bit of money.
When you hit on that, that just reminded me too, if you have any, I'm not sure how this site is, permit-wise with if you're permitted by the Board of Pharmacy, if you have a terminal distributor, dangerous drugs permit or anything like that, if you're looking, do you hold stock right now, anything? Not really?
No.
Okay. Yeah, so if you were looking to pursue, like when you say Brixati, if you're starting to have to look at MAP, programs and things like that, I can help you in every step there with the Board of Pharmacy to get you where you need to be as far as a permit, DEA registration for whoever's got to reside, all that kind of stuff. If you stick with patient-specific, Brixati or Sublocade, then you really don't need a permit specifically for stock. But if you would go to having some type of like Suboxone or films or things like that, you could utilize out of stock, then you would need that. But whatever you need.
Very good. And
Thanks for having us.
we had,
Thank you so much.
we had Diamond once before.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, I would like to tell you that I think that we've, probably changed a lot over the years, and I think we're still the good things from them, but maybe hopefully we've corrected anything you didn't like.
Well, it wasn't a matter, it was, at the time, it was local.
Okay.
That was,
Yeah.
I don't think there was an issue with Diamond, it was.
Well, Chuck sure likes the facility, so I think it's a good relationship already on our end. We're happy to be your secretary even, so thank you for considering us as a primary.
Yeah, the last thing too is what's nice about the locality, being, within 2.5 to 3 hours,
We can see you all the time. That's what he's really saying.
we are 24/7, 365. So you call in the middle of the night and it's just, you have to have something, we can send something.
Yeah. You are in a great location.
But
We're good?
thank you.
Thank you so much.
Nice to see you, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you guys. Thank you very much. Thank you. Sorry, now I feel bad, like I'm forcing handshakes on everybody. Well, do you guys want some space?
Thank you. Trying to come back right now.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right.
Didn't see him pull it off, it
No more Smarties, sorry.
I'm
Oh,
not.
I've got a stash.
Usually, power tools as kids.
Yeah,
You never know.
yeah.
Everybody get a copy of the minutes from the June 25th meeting.
Do we want to talk about Diamond Pharmacy or,
Okay.
oh, down further, maybe, I don't know. I don't know if it's anywhere else.
Does anyone have an extra copy? 'Cause I don't have a copy.
See this?
My site didn't use the whole letter.
We had Diamond Pharmacy,
Recently.
at to my recollection, there were no issues. What happened was that there was some pharmacies that were complaining about spending local, and that's kind of why that went that way, but because when we would see their cars out, they got those diamond, and we would check on them because who knew they were home. But I do remember them coming in every day, into the jail every evening.
Do you guys have a recommendation, or do you want to think about it, or?
I would like for them to give us, they did compare costs of medications, but I would like to, and they were definitely a better deal for the county and save county money. I would like to see them draw up a proposal for us
Okay.
to present to you guys.
Okay.
But I have no complaints with what we have right now.
Okay.
It's just merely, I think it'd just be better financially for the county to go sign it.
Well,
Go ahead.
that's okay. I was just gonna say that pharmacy benefit, that PBM, pharmacy benefit manager, is the one that really controls the pricing.
Mhm.
So if they're using a very, very large vendor, then, you know, you get more bang for your buck, probably. And I don't know what,
I mean, we used to see it locally, like in personal life, so local, you know, pharmacies can't get medication for the same price that Walmart or CVS can, you know, it's.
right. It's that PBM that controls the pricing, so.
Does the PBM also control the visits, the office visit charges, emergency visit charges? No.
When we get that pricing, should we, before we decide a yay or nay, if we decide yay, should we at least give Darling a shot to get close to matching it or matching it?
That'd be fair,
I
yeah.
mean, he is local.
Yeah, and he's been fantastic with us. If we've ever had an issue with like a med card or whatnot, he comes in right away.
And we're saving some money, you know, that, it explains to them why we're making that phone call that
Right.
you're no longer.
Absolutely.
My two quick thoughts are along those lines. I don't know if Pam could dig up an RFP or something, and you wanted more bids than the two of them. And the other one was, it almost sounded like the option for the licensing services was like a separate line item. That might be interesting to follow up with them about, you know,
Mhm.
A DEA license.
that's all I thought.
Any other discussion? We don't have a financial report?
You need a motion to approve the June 25th minutes?
Yeah.
All-
Motion,
I'll move.
do we have a second?
Second.
Motion, a second, discussion, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. We have no financial report. Whole business.
Some of the notes from the last meeting of old business, our kiosks for signing in and out of the facility, they are up and running and they're working very well. Some people aren't a fan of change and it takes them a little bit longer to get signed in on the first time when they come in. But after their first time signing in, it works very well. It keeps them on record and we can run a report and I can pull who was in the facility and who they were there to see or what their business was there and their picture and we can even go out and meeting scheduled with AccuShield in a few weeks to try to develop even more. If we have, say, attorneys that come in, we can even scan their credentials and keep them into the database of that. Law enforcement, you know, we be able to keep them on there so that way, if they aren't regulars and don't come in very often, next shift comes in, that officer comes in for the first time, they can pull them up automatically and see they've already been there, look right at their credentials and get in. Some of the sheriff's office, I've already created QR codes for them. They come over, they just scan their QR code to enter and all their information comes up. It takes a picture of them for documentation wise. And I know next inspection, with our Title 37 inspection, it's going to come in very handy when we need to present reports for them. Any questions on that? Control room locks, they were there this week to finish up that project. It was a show to watch those guys work. But they fixed our small gate, so it's working. Our touchscreen is up and running. They did give a recommendation of a lot of our secondary doors, so not our main secure doors, our secondary doors, they're getting old, and they would recommend replacing locks because the parts are obsolete for them, and you don't want to try to fabricate because then you weaken what you have. So in the future, it would definitely be wise to looking at getting companies in to give them quotes of what it would take to replace locks on those doors.
What floor is that?
First floor.
We did the second, third and second, correct?
Yeah, the lock, all the locks on the blocks, those are all brand new and everything's great there. These are like the secondary doors downstairs. The last thing I have for old business, large gate, we received the approval, had worn overhead doors come in to replace out the worn parts. They have already done some maintenance on it, so it is working, but they have to replace the chain and the cable on it, so we're waiting for worn overhead doors to come do that, and that'll be fixed.
That should be better with the large gate going up and down so many times and utilizing it, now that the small gate is actually in operation.
Yeah.
So we can start doing fingerprints and entries and everything. So we're not raising that. That door is not meant to raise 20, 30 times a day.
Yeah.
So,
Wally, I can say his project of cleaning everything on the outside, we tasked him with also checking, you know, our building and the security of the bars, make sure no wear and tear. He did a fantastic job. I wanted to absolutely give him an attaboy from our side too.
Any other old business? New business? No new business? Warden's report.
Everybody received a copy of the Warden's report. We've been averaging in the 80s for population as of lately.
You just want to change the spelling of my first name.
Sometimes I type faster than
Usually it's mine that gets misspelled, so I,
Identify however you want.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Looking through, we're down 2 officers. We have approval to fill those spots, but it's a process to make sure we get people in.
have you good candidates?
Yes, it's like I say at every meeting, it seems like if we have somebody leave, you know, we try to have a pool of part-timers that are getting trained and they get moved into a full-time, and by the time they cleared, we're gonna have to fill another spot of somebody else. So, the last several that we've hired seem very good. So I have high hopes for a lot of them.
Okay, that's good, high hopes are good.
The only other thing I had was community service. You'll see there wasn't very much of it. I wanted to point out that we had 24 inmates eligible to work. 7 of them are on work release. 2 of them are working in-house. 2 have pending applications. 6 of them have been on disciplinary lockup, so that removed them, and 7 were on protected or are on protective custody. So out of the ones that are sentenced to be able to work, everyone's working that's eligible to work. So
I had a request from the Conservation District to do all the painting and some trim work up there. That I sent them down to adult probation, see if there's any community service folks.
yeah, a lot of the times if we don't have somebody eligible or able to go out, we do the same with contact.
Okay. Who is the contact?
I sent them to Mike Walters.
Well, do you guys have Warfield's contact too?
Yeah, radio.
Joe Provost, I think, is who had contacted the Conservation District initially,
Okay.
but they've been playing contact and haven't been able to connect out.
Okay.
Anything else, Rusty?
Nope.
by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Capital items.
Sounds like I just did that.
Yeah.
Doors and locks.
Announcements. The next meeting will be October 22nd, 2024. Motion to adjourn.
Just one quick comment.
Yeah.
This morning, was it just this morning, Dan, you and I heard the Butler County, gentleman from Butler County who is working with the community college there that is able to, has a program transitioning inmates to work, as well as just a whole training line. It'd be interesting to understand a little bit more about that. I don't know if that would be in your camp or not, but
Since I first started here, we've attempted to do something like that.
yeah.
And it's been a really college around. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a fantastic idea because we just basically open the doors and good luck coming to the probation officer.
Right.
And hopefully that,
Right.
it should be in tandem with probation,
Right.
but, you know, even,
Well, they do some behavioral training as well. They work alongside the employer to try and make sure the employer is satisfied with the former inmate's work. And so, I mean, it sounds like a really good program, and since they already have it up and running and successful, you know, it'd be interesting to see. I don't know where that would fall, and I guess I could make a call to,
Yeah, I'm always open to new ideas and suggestions like
Yeah.
that, if we could
Yeah.
do
we're
it.
working, they're not gonna be crime, so it helps their citizens.
Right. It totally does, and it also helps our employment position, because we have such a low unemployment rate. Butler County has the same problem, so they're resolving it two ways. One is legal immigrants, and two is former inmates, so I'm like, hey, you know.
It works. I
Yeah.
just have two quick questions. Is there a specific industry that they focus on?
I don't know,
Okay.
I don't know that. They have a lot of industry in Butler in general, so
My other question was whether, does the program require financing or is it pro bono?
I'm sure there's some financing
Okay.
involved. And the community college is involved, and they have something called the Butler County Growth Initiative, so they've got a nice sized budget as well, but
Maybe we can learn.
yeah, that's what I say,
Yeah,
something is
it'd be
better than
interesting
nothing.
to know, because, like, we send them out of here, and even the basic home skills, you know, some of these people don't know how to write a check, how to set up a bank account, you
Yeah.
know, how to go to a job interview, you know, just those basic things that, you know, we could be helping them with.
The only other thing I heard, which is, this is kind of weird, but on NPR, they were talking about inmates and having those virtual headsets. And what do they call it? Virtual reality? You know how you can play games and things like that?
I don't think that's in the
Well,
budget.
let me just finish that they did a study, and talking about pharmaceuticals, they did a study on, they're not playing games, but there's something else therapeutic that they're doing, and it actually did reduce the requirements of behavioral health medications required in the jail.
Really?
So there are actually savings there because of the the inmates' anxiety, depression.
Or it increased their dopamine.
What's that?
It increased their dopamine naturally.
Yeah,
So they don't need
so I
medication.
mean, just saying.
Hey, that sounds like a capital item.
I'll put it
Yeah,
on the list for you guys.
You could probably go to GameStop and get a discount for them too.
Yeah.
They have used ones there, at GameStop?
Oh, yeah, they're all kinds of stuff.
I've never even.
There's,
told them.
Gamers Haven across from Runnings, and they have like, they buy like used all kinds of goods, like athletic stuff and game systems and
Reduced drug costs,
hockey skates, and they buy all kinds of stuff.
dopamine naturally, there you go. Okay, I'll shut up now.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
We have to watch them try it out first.